Hi everyone, my name is Shauna. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be chatting about all things book buying ban. I put myself on a fairly restrictive book buying ban at the beginning of this year, 2026, because I found that especially my physical TBR shelf, but also my Kobo, I just had quite a few books. I had probably about 95 unread books. And I found it was just kind of becoming a little bit of a mountain that I felt like I was never really going to get up and over. So I decided to stop adding books to my physical shelf, my digital shelf, my audio collection, everything. And so this year I am not allowed to buy any books for myself. I can, of course, buy books for friends and family. I can buy books to give them away as gifts, but I can't buy them for myself. I can receive gifts, like, if my partner wants to buy me a book, which he has a few, I'll show them later. That's fine. If my family wants to buy me books for holidays or my birthday, that's perfectly fine, but I can't buy anything for myself. And it has been pretty good. I feel like I've snuck a few books in. So I asked my partner, and he was very, very gracious, and he bought me a few books, just to tie me over, if you will. I have seen a lot of people talk about book buying bans, and most of the time it's about kind of being considerate and buying, saving money when you're always buying books, physical books or ebooks or anything, as well as just wanting to really tackle your your TBR shelf and be able to really make a dent in it. And that's something that was pretty top of mind for me when I started this. But I have found that it's also that, but it's also just trying to understand my reading tastes a little bit more. And I found that currently, it's the middle of August and I'm still doing pretty well. I'll get into the nitty gritty in a second, but for the most part, it has been really kind of enlightening to see how my book buying and my book reading are quite different. And I tend to just, buy lots of books because they're a good deal and they're on Book Outlet, and I'll shop and add 10 books to my cart, not even think about it, and then I'll get them and I'll actually be kind of like, oh, maybe I'll read this now, and maybe I'm not super interested in this one, but maybe I will be a little later and I'll read it. Whereas now I'm a lot more considerate that my shelf is not super genre diverse, and that's something that when the book buying ban is done and I'm able to buy books again in the new year, I will be definitely considerate of some of where those gaps are, because I have a lot of fantasy, which makes sense. I love fantasy. I have a lot of sci-fi, and I don't have a lot of other genres to kind of break up those readings. And so when I kind of get a little bit oversaturated and I want a little bit of change of pace, I don't have a lot of options on my shelf. So I find that's something that I'm pretty considerate of, as well as series. It feels like everything nowadays is a series. I'm trying to orient myself. Series, everything's a series. And I find that to be kind of, it really drains on you after a while when you're constantly okay, where did we leave off? Okay, I've read a lot of books in between that time, but I'm going to read some other ones, but then I'll come back to this. And do I need to reread the first to read the second? Do I need to reread the first two to read the third? It's just gotten to be quite a bit. So it'd be nice to have a little bit more kind of standalones on my shelf. So in that vein, I got a few books from my partner, who's been very gracious and very supportive of my book buying ban. But I did say I really, really, really wanted these because these were some of my most highly anticipated books of 2026. And so he did pick them up for me. So the first one is Land by Maggie O'Farrell. Maggie O'Farrell is an instant buy author for me. It's not even a question. Hamnet is absolutely gorgeous, and I just couldn't I couldn't pass up the opportunity to get a new release from her. So I did ask for this guy for, sorry, that was probably a bit loud. The next one is A Trade of Blood by Robert Jackson Bennett. So this is the third one in the Ana de Labra and Denius Cole kind of mystery series. I'm not actually sure if that has a name for the whole series, but this is book number 3. I had to continue the series. In that vein, I also have A Deadly Episode by Anthony Horowitz, which is book number, let me look back here, I think book number 6 of this series. And so again, the book buying always increases when you have so many books to collect. And then technically, I'm saying technically, but it's a reference book. I bought one book, hear me out. I haven't failed the book buying ban because I argue that this is I don't really count. I'm not going to read this like front to back, which is I have been getting into a lot more sewing this past summer. And so I bought the ultimate sewing Bible because I did want an easier reference for fabrics and certain clothing, kind of like fixtures like cuffs and collars and buttons and zippers and how to kind of maneuver those. So I did buy that. Technically, I did buy that. But yeah, it kind of shows me that this book buying ban has been really, really helpful, I think, in the sense that it has opened my eyes to the ways that my shelf has been a little bit lacking because it is so genre like specific. Like I only read fantasy, I only read sci-fi, and those are the only books that are sitting waiting to be read. And now when I think about buying books, I do kind of think of like taking almost like a mental image or a list or something into the bookstore or when I'm shopping online, and just being mindful that like, yes, you have this book and this book and this book, but they're all sitting in the same genre or kind of subgenre. And it would be nice to have a little bit of diversity and a little bit of difference so that when you have that craving for something else, a change of pace, you have access to it. So it's been kind of a bit of a learning experience. Like I said, I started about 95 books at the beginning of this year, and I'm currently down to 65, and that's between both my physical and my digital, my Kobo. So it's pretty good. We've made a bit of a dent. Like I said, it's about the middle of August now, so that's, you know, across 8 months, and I'm pretty happy with that. I would of course love that number to be lower. I would love it to be down into like the 40s at this point, but we're trying to make progress and just be really gentle with ourselves as much as we can be. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about my experience with the book buying ban. I do think it's really helpful. Now, has my buying shifted to other things? Definitely. I don't necessarily think that this was anything to do with like finances and I'm going to save money this year by not buying books. Like it really wasn't that perspective. It was genuinely just making a dent in my physical and digital TBR. So I feel like that's actually a goal that I'm meeting. But I don't necessarily think that I've like shifted my like financial habits to be better or anything like that. It just isn't the case. It's just that money has now shifted to like things in the home or crafts that I've been working on. So yeah, the financial aspect, no, but the reading and being a little bit more mindful of the books that I do have and that I don't have, it also just shows me, yeah, I just, like when I look at my TBR shelf, like my physical one especially, I do just get a little bit tired. I do think that a lot of these books were purchased a long time ago, and now I kind of see it as, you know, it's reflecting an older reading taste as opposed to a newer one, and so yeah, I just have to be mindful of that as I keep going into the year. But truly, it actually hasn't been that hard. I think it's because I've always known that like the book buying and the book reading are two kind of separate hobbies, and I knew that if I wanted to be really, you know, kind of mindful with myself, I know myself, and I kind of have to quit cold turkey. Like I just have to stop, and so I have, and I'm trying, and I'm failing. I mean, I say failing. Do we count a reference book? Do we really count a reference book as buying a book? Like, I'm not going to sit down and read this like in an afternoon. Like, I'm just like referencing it. That's like buying a dictionary. Like, does that count? Anyway, do let me know in the comments if you've ever tried a book buying ban, because yeah, I'm just curious.